Hi, it's Indrani here, and today we're going to look at a question that we practitioners often face when it comes to energy healing. And that question is, how soon will I see results? How much time does it take for energy healing to show results? And often we are faced with this expectation of instantaneous results. Sometimes that it might be exactly what happens, and sometimes healing shows up differently. I remember this incident. It was a very cold January morning. I received this call, and there's this woman on the other end. She is frantic. She tells me that her dog has been bitten by a snake. And this dog was now in a critical condition. Doctors were trying to flush the toxins out of the dog's system. And according to the doctors, the chances of this dog recovering was less than 20%. She was desperate. She needed a solution. So, I started working with the dog. And I did what I do, intuitive energy healing. After the first session, when she went to meet the dog next, the dog opened her eyes and looked at this person. And that made her so happy, saying that, at least there is a sign, something is happening. So we decided that we will continue working. For 3 days, I did daily energy work sessions with this dog. And the dog was out of critical care. The dog was back home. There were still issues to work on. The appetite was not back. The dog has been through a tremendous amount of stress. So we worked on that for the next 1 week, and after a week, the appetite was also back to normal. So this was a dog where the doctors had said, we don't know if she's going to make it. And in no time, the dog is back to making a complete recovery. Amazing, isn't it? Before you get carried away, let me tell you another story. This is a dog who has been struggling with skin rashes. This dog gets itchy skin every now and then, and this has been going on for years. There will be episodes when there will be a lot of rashes, skin gets itchy, it becomes really ugly, and this person, she said, can you help? And I said, okay, let's do a session. So I did what I did. And after the first session, I asked, what's going on? What do you see? This woman says, the rashes are still there, but she seems to be drinking a lot more water. I said, okay, that is some response. She did agree to continue the sessions. So I continued working with the dog, and I would ask her, how is she doing? Are you seeing anything? And she would say, well, she's drinking a lot of water, but the rashes are still there. So then I decided to probe a little more. I said, compared to when you came to me to now, do you see any change in the dog? And this woman, she says, well, now that you mention it, she's actually a lot less irritable. She used to be very snappy earlier. She would snap at the cat. She's not doing that anymore. There's a lot more calmness in her. But the rashes are still there. The rashes are not gone. Are the rashes the same as before? Well, maybe not, but I'm not sure. She wasn't very sure whether she would want to proceed with the sessions. A week goes by, I don't hear from her. Another week goes by, I don't hear from her. And then all of a sudden there is a call. And she is saying she's become irritable once again. She's once again going after the cat, and the rashes, they have just become worse. Can you help? At least your sessions was helping her in some way. I can see that now. Can you help? So once again, I start working with the dog. I do sessions with her and start monitoring her progress. Again, a few weeks go by, and I ask, what's going on? And she says, well, maybe they are a little less than before, but I really don't see the rashes going. Is she as irritable as before? No, she is not irritable at all. This cycle went on for quite some time. She would do some sessions, there would be this 1%, 2% progress, and then she would say, no, I'm not sure what to do, and then we won't be doing any sessions, and then there would be this relapse of the itchy skin and the irritability and all of it. For someone who is not prepared in terms of what to expect, this can sound very, very frustrating. So, I have a question for you. What do you think happened? Let's look at the first case, the dog who came back from the instance of a snake bite. What do you think? In what way did energy healing support that dog's recovery? I'm going to show you some options, so just have a look at these options. Some of them are wild, some of them are quite possible, so just see what comes up for you. All right? Okay. So in this slide, you're now able to see all these options. So just take a minute to reflect on them and just make note of whatever feels right for you. All right. Now, let's look at the second case. In what way did energy healing contribute or not contribute to that dog's wellness, the dog with the skin rash? And again, you will see some options. Pick up the ones which resonate with you. All right? All right. Now, let's look at what's going on in both these scenarios. And to demonstrate that, I have with me here a hair tie, a scrunchie. This hair tie, for this explanation, is a representation of a baseline of wellness for the dog with the snake bite. This is the dog's wellness baseline. Overall healthy, not much going on. A normal level of health. Now, an incident happens, like a snake bite, and all of a sudden, the entire system is under tremendous stress. The body is fighting the toxins, fighting the intrusion, trying to come back to normal. The kidneys, the livers, the organs are trying to function, and there is this enormous amount of stress in the system. This is not normal stress. This is not a stress which the dog is used to under normal circumstances. When the dog goes about with his daily life, this amount of stress is not there. When we add energy healing on top of a situation like this, the energy healing will simply bring the system back to the normal baseline, a state of wellness. And this is the state of wellness. So, a dog who's healthy suddenly becomes unhealthy because of an extraordinary, unusual circumstance, and with energy healing, the system comes back again to a state of balance. Do you understand this? All right. Now, I'm going to show you another one. Now, this is the dog with the skin rash. The skin rash, if you remember, has been there for a very long time. And again, we are not looking at the medical causes or situations here. We're just going to look at this from an energy aspect. If you look at this hair tie, this is a normal, healthy hair tie. Okay, normal baseline. But this other one, where you have a chronic skin rash, chronic itching going on for years, the system is already stretched. System has forgotten what this baseline looks like. It's not really in a state where it is easy to come back to this state. So what happens when I do energy healing on a hair tie or a system which is not really in its baseline state? For a moment, I will bring it back into the state of wellness. There is balance. So that's what energy healing is all about. It brings the system to a state of perfect balance, homeostasis, and the body's own healing powers get activated, which is why we see the accelerated recoveries. Skin rash going on for years, energy work done, you see a state of balance for a while, a little bit. But then, Once the influence of the energy work wears off, the system again goes back to its state, which is not really a state of wellness. Can I bring this hair tie or this system, which is not used to being in a wellness environment, into this, which is a state of balance? Can this happen? Yes, it can happen. But it takes patience and it takes time. We call it an acute condition versus a chronic condition. An acute condition is something which is very unexpected, which happens all of a sudden, like you catch a cold, you catch a flu, you have an infection, you get a stomach bug, the cat ate something. These are all acute conditions. It feels life-threatening, but with energy work, there is a very strong possibility that the recovery will also happen, along with medical treatment. But when you're looking at a chronic condition, you're looking at long-term management, which is when you have things which have been going on for years and you've been trying to manage them. We're looking at a much more gentler, slower recovery. And yes, we can get there, but it does require patience. It also requires the human caregiver to be a little prepared for the journey ahead. There are a few other reasons which can also cause the effects of the energy healing to either not show up at all or to show up very slowly. And these are more environmental, when the trigger itself is not taken care of. A very common example is, let's say you have a cat or a dog with a weak digestive system, maybe the liver is weak, and you keep giving them food which is really unhealthy. We do the healing work, maybe you will see some results, but right after the healing, if you give them a bowl of food which lacks nutrients and only causes stress on the liver, it is very unlikely that you will see a recovery from a liver condition. And it's true for a human as well. Think of a human going to the gym. You go to the gym, you do a good workout, and then you come out and you go and have a cheesecake. Well, it is the same with cats and dogs as well. So sometimes it is not just about the energy healing. Sometimes it is also taking care of the environment. If there is a trigger, it could be food. If you have a cat with a sensitive system, and you have a house full of essential oils and chemicals and plants which are toxic for cats, then you are not really creating an environment where the cat can recover or heal. So these are other factors which slow down the effects of healing, can even negate the healing as well. Another reason why healing takes time is if there is a very chaotic environment. Our cats and dogs, and I've spoken about this, about the concept of resonance. If we live in a very chaotic environment and we expect our cats and dogs to be the model of calmness and to be the Zen masters, then, well, we have a mismatch in expectation. This is Cyrus. Cyrus also suffers from skin rashes. When I first started working with Cyrus, he would get these red welts on his skin and they would erupt, and it would be really, really ugly and messy. This time, while I did the energy work, Cyrus's human also worked on creating an environment which was free of chemicals, which was triggering allergy reactions in him. She also looked at cleaning up his nutrition, his food plan. Was there immediate success? No. Did the day she changed Cyrus's diet, that very day Cyrus suddenly become miraculously better? No, that did not happen. It took months. Months of healing, energy work, nutrition, and having a very clean, safe environment for Cyrus. Today, Cyrus's rashes still come, but what was earlier, I would have said, on a scale of 9 to 10 is now at 2 to 10. And with this combination of energy work, a clean environment, a safe environment, Cyrus is supported. No longer ugly, messy welts. There is success, there is progress. And this is what I want to leave you with. If you live with cats and dogs, and if one of them has a a situation which is very acute and it has that emergency to it, go for the medical treatment. And along with that, consider supplementing some form of energy work. There is a very strong possibility that the recovery process will be faster. If, on the other hand, you have a cat or a dog who has been dealing with something for ages, then the chances of one call to a healer and everything disappears is really not a very strong possibility. If you can prepare yourself for a healing journey where both of you can get supported using energy healing, you may see a remarkable transformation in both of your lives. I hope you found this talk useful. Do comment, let me know your thoughts. Stay tuned for more talks on animal communication and energy healing for animals.